Canadian Aquatic Auctions, the place to be if you are into anything aquatic. Nelson Fletcher, owner and operator, has years of experience and wants to help you better achieve your aquatic needs and goals. So if you're an aquatic hobbyist and enthusiast, please visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today. Their public auctions provide a venue to remarket all aquatic-related products, services, and equipment. If you are just starting out in the hobby, the site has a tack room where you can converse with other aquatic hobbyists like yourself. Canadian Aquatic Auctions is the eBay of everything aquatic. So visit Nelson at his site at www.aquariumauctions.ca or go check out his Facebook page as well at www.facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships that are based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Skis Watch and Clock, 106 West Central Avenue, Winter Haven, Florida, 33880. Located downtown across from the main post office. When you're short on time, he's right on time. For all of your watch, clock, sales, and service needs, call Skis, 863-294-5630. Sales, service, free estimates, and reasonable rates. That's 863-294-5630 for Skis Watch and Clock.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together. This is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Do you want to capture the best memories you can? Is wanting to help preserve those memories your goal? Do you want your memories to last a lifetime? Do you want your memories to look beautiful in pictures? Well, if you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place you can save those treasures for a lifetime. Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers is your solution for capturing your favorite moments and memories like birthdays, graduations, weddings, family portraits, single shots, and more. She can also capture the finest scenery shots around and make them available all across the country and around the world, and at a price that can suit your budget. So if you're looking for the right photographer that can help preserve your legacy, look no further than Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography. Call Abby today at 541-951-2443 or message her at her Facebook page by searching for Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work is displayed there. Feel grateful for the memories captured by Grateful Heart Photography.
If you're looking for action-packed classic fun, look no further.
Carter, the machine gun! Look out, Daddy!
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
For the best in old-time radio adventures, you've come to the right place. This is one nostalgic weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Action VR Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Pretty Boy Doug Masters Kayfabe Korner. If you have any questions for myself, my co-host, my guest, feel free to call in at 954-246-0398. That's 954-246-0398. Hey, my co-host, Sensational Sean Bryan, you in the house?
Woo!
In the house.
I'm in the house.
All right, brother. How you been doing, man? Doing good?
I'm great, man. Life is good today.
Amen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my guest, y'all's guest right now. It's Wildcat Wendell Cooley. He's been continental Puerto Rico, Japan, all over the nation. Great worker, great friend. Great man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wendell Wildcat Cooley. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Roll Tide.
That's good, man. How you? Is everything going good?
Everything's great, man. Couldn't be better.
Awesome, brother.
How the hell's the guy in Florida rolling Tide?
Well, I spent a lot of time in
Gators?
Alabama, man. I spent a lot of time in Alabama, man.
There you go.
I love the Bear, man. I love the Bear.
That
was a great coach.
Yeah.
All right, hey, brother, can you please tell our listeners out there who trained you, what year it was, just kind of get a biography about your life and career?
Yeah, hey, man. Yeah, I'm going to give a little plug real quick in case nobody knows.
Go ahead.
My documentary is out. I did a documentary about 2 years ago. It's out. You can go on wendellcooley.com, and it'll take you to the link to get it. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. It kind of walks through my whole career from start to finish, you know. Anyway, it all started back about 1981. An old-timer, some of the older folks may remember this guy. His name was Bad Boy Hines. Back in the 50s and 60s, he was really popular. 70s, kind of retired around the late 70s here in my hometown of Milton, Florida. He was an insurance salesman when he retired from the wrestling business. And an older brother of mine, his name is Greg, actually started in the business before I did. He met Bad Boy and got to be good friends with him, and asked him if he would train him to be a wrestler. So, long story short, they built a little ring in the back of my cousin's house and began training, and first one thing and another, and then I kind of got excited about it. I was still a senior in high school, I think, at the time, and I kind of got interested in it. Been a wrestling fan all my life. Grew up here in the Southeast watching the older folks, Ken Lucas and the Wrestling Pro and Mike the Hippie Boyette and Cowboy Bob Kelly and the Fields and the Welches, the Fullers now. Anyhow, I got interested in it, and by the time that I was beginning to train, Mr. Hines was having some bad medical problems. Ended up getting killed in a automobile accident here, not far from his house here, right here in my hometown. So we found a deputy sheriff here in the small town I'm from, who had done some work for the Fullers in the fields before the Fullers bought it back in the 70s. He finished up training. His name was Larry Pearson. And we trained under him for, 6, 8, 9 months. And my brother got his shot first. He got us on the TV for the Fullers down here, Southeastern Championship Wrestling back then. It's probably about 82 by that time. And he got to work with the Mongolian Stomper. It was his first match. Of course, I was there watching everything, got to meet the guys. And a month or so later, I got my first shot on TV in Dothan at the studio, Channel 4 studio there for the Fullers in Southeastern. My very first match was with Bill Ash. Most people will remember him by where they tie their boots and things like that. His dad was the bootmaker.
Yeah, No Ash. Yeah, his dad. Yeah, No Ash. Yeah, Paris, Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got started there, and they didn't want to use me a whole lot around here because they had plans for me down the road that I didn't know about, obviously, and they kept trying to tell me I need to leave and go get some experience. So Christopher Love was trying to get a new show started, new territory started up in the Iowa and South Dakota area. So he brought me in up there, and I stayed up there for 4, 5, 6 months, and that's where I met Bob Sweetan. Came in for a few shows, and Cowboy Scott Casey. So I got to meet those guys and talk with those guys, and got to be real good close friends with Scott. And I asked him if he could help me in any way. He was working for Blanchard in San Antonio at the time. He said, "I'll do what I can when I get home, brother." And he said, I'll let you know something. So it probably wasn't a week, and I got a phone call. Jonathan Boyd was doing the booking there. And I got a phone call from Jonathan Boyd and offered me a spot in San Antonio. Well, I was married, working a job as a plumber's helper at the time, and had a little baby at the time. I think she probably was maybe 2 years old at the time. I quit my job, packed up my stuff, and took off to San Antonio. It was a week before Thanksgiving, 1984. And that was my very first full-time territory. They teamed me up with a fellow named Jerry Oskey from up north. I don't know what he had done much prior to that, and I don't know what he did much after that. But he and I worked together for a couple months with Eric Embry and his partner at the time, and they gave us a little push and put the belts on us. And then Jerry left for whatever reason, and it broke me off into a singles. And I worked there another couple months. Let me back up. When I went into San Antonio, I went in as Scott Casey's cousin, Rick Casey.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I actually got my start. I thought I'd get a little bump like that, being a new guy, young, greenhorn. And it took off good, man. I got a good little push there. And, of course, the territory was dying at the time. We're making a lot of long, long trips, man. And it wasn't very profitable. So I stayed there and probably, 6 or 8 months, and ended up getting an opportunity to go to work for Bill Watts at that time. Bill Dundee was doing the booking. And a friend of mine that I had met, I don't know if you remember his name, but his name was Norman Frederick Charles III.
Yes, I do.
He was an old-timer who retired in my hometown also. His last territory was working for the Fullers, and he ended up retiring here. Went to work for the city here, actually. And he just passed away about 3 months ago here. He was one of the original kangaroos from back in the day. He was from England. Anyway, he and Lord Jonathan Boyd, correct? Yes, they teamed up, exactly. They were the kangaroos. But anyway, he came to a
They
couple
were out here in
practices.
Portland for a while at one point when I was growing up.
Right. Yeah, well, he came to one of he came to a few of our practices and watched and was impressed. But he told me to my face, and I'll never forget it. He said, "Kid," he said, "you'll never make a dime as a baby face in this business."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Okay, well, whatever, but I just want to do it." So he got me an opportunity to go to work for Bill Watts. He knew Bill Dundee real good, and he made a phone call for me and got me out of San Antonio. And by this time, I had a little season under my belt, felt a little more about myself, a little better about myself, and went into work for Bill Watts. He teamed me up with Al Perez at that time. And we worked.
Yeah, that's when you guys were on World Championship, correct?
Well, yeah, it was. I don't even remember. Mid-South Championship Wrestling, yeah.
Mid-South, yeah. They did their TV tapes down in Louisiana.
In Shreveport.
And then based out.
Yep.
Shreveport, yeah. It's on the new boys club down there.
At the boys club there in Shreveport every Tuesday night. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they put Perez and myself together, and we worked the program with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and DiBiase. They put the belts on us, and, did my little tenure there. And Dundee left and went back to Memphis. And he called me and asked me if I wanted to come to Memphis. So I said, well, make me an offer. So needless to say, a little better money, a little better position. Went to work for Dundee and Jarrett in Memphis. And they put, it was Dutch. I think that's my first program there. Big program to work with Dutch Mantell. Yeah. Yeah. And had a good run there. And then I got the phone call to come home, man. And it's kind of where I finished up my career was here. Of course, I went 2 or 3 other places, took some time off from here. But once I got here, man, I don't know how it happened. Still don't to this day. How I got over so well, you know what I mean? I mean, dude, I'm 5'10", 230 pounds, but worked hard. You know what I mean? And
I remember seeing you and Al Perez. So I didn't know. I thought it was all Atlanta based, but I remember. I believe it was Turner at the time would show World Class, and then now I do remember them occasionally. They would show. They'd go to the other studio, which I didn't know was in Shreveport, but that was with Watts and them, and that's when I remember seeing you and Al Perez as a tag team against Dr. Death and DiBiase.
Right.
I was in high school.
Yeah, well, I tell you, man, I'll tell you the reason I left there, man. I got hurt in Baton Rouge one night. Me and Duggan were working with Kamala, and Ray Candy was doing the Zambui Express deal.
Yeah.
Akbar was their manager. And I got hurt in the ring that night. So when I got to the dressing room, I told Watts about it. He said, well, go to the hospital, get took care of, and have them send me the bill. So I did. And he took the damn money out of my check, the next paycheck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said, bullshit on this, man. I said, this was for making money for you. So I said, you got to give it back? He said, no, I'm not going to give it back. I said, okay, well, sayonara. Here's my notice. I'm leaving. So that's how I ended up leaving there, man, Anyhow, I had a good little run in Memphis with Dutch and Dundee. He and I teamed up for a little while. And then, of course, like I said, I got the phone call here to come back home. But the plan was, I think they were only going to bring me in mid-card and give me a shot and see if I could do anything. Because Idol was here. Idol was their top babyface here. For
Idol.
Yeah. he was the top babyface here forever, and I don't know why he left. I don't know if there was a disagreement or what, but they didn't have any.
I could never see him as a babyface.
Yeah,
never see Austin Idol as a babyface. So
and
I don't him as a heel.
Yeah, and the difference, you know what I'm saying? The persona that he had with his stature and his build, and the blonde hair and the all the thing, and then me come in, 3 or 4 inches shorter, 20 pounds lighter. I don't know, man. It caught fire, And I worked a program with Adrian Street. It must have been 7 or 8 months. Nobody else wanted to work him because of his strange style and gimmick.
Yeah, I like the way I could work him.
I had no problem, dude. It was a freaking breeze. I mean, that was like a night off every night, but none of the other guys wanted to work that gimmick that he had. It's tough if you didn't really, you really had to understand his gimmick, man, and just sell your ass off. And these guys didn't want to do that, obviously. I don't know, because he couldn't find anybody to work with him. So when I got here, man, it was weeks and then months we worked together. And finally they had to do something different. We'd done everything under the sun. So by that time, I was getting stronger and stronger. And I can remember Ron Fuller calling me into the dressing room one night in Birmingham. That's where we did our TV. And, well, let me back up 1 week prior to that. His wife took care of the money and the pay, okay? Every Monday night she came in with the briefcase to pay everybody. So she caught me off to the side, and she just straight up said, "Hey, how's everything going?" And that kind of opened the door for me to, to voice my disagreements, my agreements, and everything else. So I kind of got on a roll, and when it was all said and done, I walked off scratching my head. I said, "God, dog, man, you might have said too much," because she never gave me any feedback, whether it was yay, she approved, or nay, she didn't approve. You know what I mean? I thought, right. I just buried myself, So the following week, Ron was there, and this was kind of a rare thing because Robert and Bob Armstrong took care of 90% of, all of that. All of the TVs and the booking and whatever. Ron was kind of just in the background at this point in time in his career. He'd come in for an occasional appearance, but that was it. But he was there. And he said, "Wendell," he said, "I need to see you back here for a minute." And I thought, oh, shit, man. I knew it.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. I said, "I'm fixing to get my notice, man, and I'm home. This is such a easy territory, man, making great freaking money." I said, golly. So he pulled me into the dressing room, and he shut the door, and he looked me straight in the eye, and he said, "How's things going?" And I said, "Meaning what?" I didn't want to freaking start out, You tell me what
you're putting in your mouth again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to answer your questions as easy as I can. He said, "Well, are you happy?" I said, "Oh, hell yes, I'm happy." "What do you mean?" So anyway, he said, "Look," he said, "I'm just going to be point blank with you." He said, You're one of my top money men." He said, "Just got to make sure that you're not going anywhere. Things are okay." Boy, that was a big
wow.
Now
that was ease off your mind right there, brother. Yeah.
Huh? The old chest is sweating up now. I feel like, okay. Yeah. Now I need to tell him everything. I said, "Well, I tell you this, Ron." I said, "Let me tell you this, and I'm just going to be straight up since you asked." I said, "I thought my payoff last week was a little low on a couple shows." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yes, sir. I sure do. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but, I've been around here enough to know how the houses are doing and blah, 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 and where I am on the card, He said, "Well, I tell you what." He said, "Give it a couple weeks. If things don't look good," he said, "we'll put you on a guarantee." Huh? I said, okay. You daggum right. My check was $500 more that following week.
Oh, man.
So this was a bad time of the year. Now, going into the holidays, you have a couple good shows. You have a freaking huge Thanksgiving week there, a couple shows in the big, in your big venues, and then at Christmas, and after that, it dies off. We're talking mid to late January into February. That's the tough part of the season, man, and my check went up. So, that made me feel real good, and, it's kind of pretty much it in a nutshell. And then Ron sold the territory and reopened the Knoxville area, and I left here and went to work for him for a few months. That kind of petered out. I left there, came back, worked here. Dundee was booking here at that time, and I stayed here for a few more months, and then he brought in Eddie
Gilbert.
Damn it. Uh-huh.
Eddie Gilbert?
Eddie Gilbert. I drew a blank. He brought Eddie Gilbert in with Missy to book territory.
I see, yeah.
So I knew where my spot was going to be. You know what I mean? So I turned in my notice here and left, and went back to work for Jarrett for a few months, and got an opportunity to go to work for Ted Turner. Ronnie West was working in the office at the time, and he called me and asked me if I'd like to come in and make work. He said, I think I can get you a spot. I said, well, hell yeah. So he got me a spot, and he said, look, go to the airport. We're going to make the Northeast Loop. He said, your ticket will be at the airport. You're going to Pittsburgh and here and here and here and here, and then you'll end up in Atlanta for TV. I said, all right, 10-4, I'll pack my bags. So made that loop, that first loop. Kevin Sullivan was the booking agent. And I worked that first week, and we got back to TV in Atlanta, and I was working in a tag match. I don't remember who my partner was, but we were working with the State Patrol. I know you remember them guys, Dale Veazey.
I remember them guys, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, super, super great guys, man. Hard workers.
Oh, great guys,
super
man.
good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, one of them guys, oh, dude, exactly. One of them guys came and clipped my right leg out from under me. And I had the old Joe Theismann look. Y'all remember the Monday Night Football injury Joe Theismann had where that's what my right leg looked like. So So I got out of the ring, got back to the dressing room. Of course, I didn't have the compound fracture, but it got me at the knee where I tore my MCL, the ACL, everything, and the knee was
everything inside the knee was gone, right?
It was gone, man. And it was already almost as big as a football by the time I got to the dressing room. So they took me to the emergency room and then brought in a surgeon, orthopedic. And, of course, they couldn't do nothing that night with it. They drained it. Told me to be at his office the next morning. So I get to his office the next morning. I think it's the Hawk or the Falcon. I don't remember. It was one of those teams' doctor. So he says, got some pretty bad news for you here, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, I got to ask you a question. I said, if I do not have surgery, what are my chances of ever being able to get back to doing what I'm doing? He said, well, probably slim to none. Okay. Now, if you do surgery, how long am I out? He said, well, it depends on what all we have to do when we get in there. It could be 6 months, 9 months, possibly a year. I said, I can't do it, Doc. Nope.
Don't worry about it right now.
I said, tell you what, do you have one of those ACL braces like, now this is exactly how I said it, like Terry Gordy wears? He said, well, I'm not sure who Terry Gordy is, but I said, do you have one of them? I said, well, I can put you in a brace. I said, give me one of those and let me go. I said, we don't have insurance. I said, if I don't work, I don't get paid. So when I left out of there, man, toting this leg around, we had to make another week loop before we came back to TV. And I went to Kevin. I said, Kevin, he said, look, brother, I'll take care of you. He said, just get yourself to the ring. So before I went to the ring every night, I wrapped that thing up so freaking tight that my foot would be purple when I got back to the room or back to the dressing room. And I worked that whole week like that. We get back to TV, and Ole has this big plan for me. I was going to do this big angle with Sting and Luger and that big guy they had in there at the time they called the Giant. I don't remember his name.
Paul White.
Oh, my. Yeah, but he wanted me to come off the top rope, get caught, and the Giant was going to throw me 2 freaking rows deep. I said, dude, no, can't. He said, what do you mean you can't?
Right.
Kid? I said, I can hardly get to the ring. He said, what happened? I said, you don't remember what happened? He said, no, I don't know. I said, look, tonight, can't do it. I said, maybe next week night I can do it. I said, I can barely get to the ring. I done worked all week like this. He said, well, I tell you what, kid, he said, you need to go home and get well and then call me back. So that was kind of the extent of my WCW days. Never made that phone call back. I ended up in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Pretty Boy was there too. I was there, and you guys were on top. Outbreakers, they brought me in. Murdoch did, and y'all you had the ball, you was running with it, and you was leaving. I think at the time I come in and was Ron Starr, and they was wanting to hook me up with Frankie was there. But they, passed the ball torch somewhere else. So Murdoch,
I think they brought in Alex. Alex Porto, I think, came in and took my spot.
Alex Porto, he come in too. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he came in and took my spot. But I tell you why I left there, man. We had a good little thing going there. Carlos took care of me and Frankie. Carlos took care of us good. And Invader, you know the deal with Invader and Brody.
Yeah.
And the very first night, the very first night I was there, I had to work with him, man. I was nervous as freaking shit, So anyway, man, he fell in love with me. I don't know why, man. He and I just freaking hit it off, I don't know if because he liked my style or, because I'm very easy in the ring, man. I don't freaking, you know what I mean? I don't do a lot of stupid, crazy, goofy shit. But we hit it off real well, man, and he would pull me off every freaking night, man, and talk to me and, freaking hang in there, man. Hang in there, just pumping me up. Carlos took care of us, but freaking Murdoch, man, was a dick. Rest his soul.
If you did,
freaking dick.
If you did not drink beer, that's the first thing he'd ask you. You're a beer drinker. Some of these greenhorns call his face.
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't, their big deal was him and a couple of the other guys, man, freaking get shit-faced every night and go to the freaking Brown, what was that place called?
No, man, down by the sports. Down East Roberta right there. Yeah, I know it's that.
Hell yeah, they go down
Then we go to Black Angus too downtown. Black Angus.
That's what I'm talking about, the Black Angus, yeah. Hell yeah. But, I wasn't into that bullshit, anyway. Wasn't into the heavy drinking and all that crap. But what pissed me off is we were having to bum rides every night to get to the town.
No,
you know what I mean? And that was tough. Okay, well, we had this local guy there. His name was Richie. We loaded up heading to a show one night, and this guy was driving. I was sitting in the front seat, and Thumper was sitting behind me. We're in a little Honda Civic. He's taking us to the show, and we're hauling ass down this thing, just talking and bullshitting back and forth, and I look up and we're coming to a 4-way intersection, and I see this big freaking old Buick or one of them big deuce and a quarter, 225, big land yacht looking car. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope he sees this because this car is fixing to turn in front of us. Well, that son of a gun turned broadside in front of us, man, and we hit that bastard running 55, maybe 60, I don't know. But when we hit it, I didn't have my seatbelt on, and Frankie didn't have his on, so he hit my seat and drove me through the front windshield. I thought I had broke my neck. Oh, yeah. I thought I had broke my neck, man. So when the smoke and all cleared from the steam and the radiators and we got out of the freaking car and people were starting to gather, you know how they were in Puerto Rico, man. Anything that happened.
You guys had heat.
Well,
yeah, you guys had heat and everything. You're getting out of the car going.
Hell yeah, we're standing.
You know some TV and all that.
Hell yeah, we're standing on the freaking sidewalk at a four-way intersection there, and blood is freaking puddling up on the freaking ground. And I feel it running down my face, okay? And I'm thinking, there's not enough blood coming out of my head to make that. Where is this blood coming from? So Frankie looked at me and said, oh, my God, cuz. He said, your whole freaking elbow's hanging out. So I guess that's something in the face going through the windshield. So we wrapped up in a towel, and you could hear the sirens coming in a few minutes. I don't know, seemed like forever, but probably wasn't 10 minutes. An ambulance pulls up, and he's checking out this man and lady in the car that we hit, because we hit on her side. And then one of them comes, checks on us. Another ambulance pulls up. They pull a body out of the first ambulance that pulled up, put it into the second ambulance, and I'm standing here, and my towel is soaked in blood, and ain't nobody taking care of me, dude, and I'm getting freaking hot. You know what I mean? I'm going to stand here on the corner of the street PR and bleed to death and die right here. By the time the third ambulance got there, they finally put me in one. Now, 3 ambulances showed up. One of them had a dead body in it.
Oh, my God.
And they moved it out of one and put it in another one. So finally they get me up into this ambulance, and I said, look, how bad is it? They said, well, you got to get to the hospital to get took care of. So, okay. So Frankie jumped in the freaking ambulance with me. When we get to the hospital, we get in. I get sewed up. We catch a ride from the hospital to the freaking house show. Now, they're almost finished. A couple matches left to go. And Murdoch says, where the hell you guys been? I said, dude, I just left the freaking hospital, okay? Freaking head's bandaged up, my arm's bandaged up. He said, well, you guys need to get dressed. You're coming on next. I said, I ain't freaking getting in the ring. Hell no. Not one of these dirty freaking rings. So that kind of ticked me off, you know what I mean? Want me to crawl up in the damn ring, elbow freaking, I don't remember how many stitches I had, gazoodle of them there, gazoodle of them in my head. You want me to get in there and wallow around on that nasty freaking mat, take a chance of busting these freaking sutures open, and then go back to the freaking hospital. I said, oh, no, hell no, absolutely not. He got a little pissed at me, and then the next night he made a comment because we were late getting to the show, so I said, well, shit on it. I'll go home.
Hi, Doug.
Hey, can you hang up, Vanessa? Can you hang up right quick? Go ahead and hang up right quick.
All right.
Till we're done, call back. All right, thank you. Anyway, brother, go ahead. Oh, man, I remember going east of Birdie, you know, right there. We turned it. Did y'all stand that in the Dahlia, that pink building? We turned up to the stop sign one time, and somebody jumped out of the fucking trunk of the car, you know, and we all locked the doors and shit because everybody was heels, right? And this guy, the people in front of the car had kidnapped this dude in the back of the trunk. He's coming out banging on the window and speaking Spanish, bro. Actually, man, help me. You know, we're all rolling up the windows and stuff, and finally he runs over to the side of the goes down an alley right there, going back to the Dahlia. I don't know whatever happened to him, but finally, well, you know how the traffic was down there. You know, it's 35 miles wide, 100 miles long, and you know, didn't know what the hell when you're on TV. You got heat and stuff. You know, you got to do what you can do. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, bro. I know what you're talking about.
Hell
brother. Yeah. But yeah, brother, yeah, that's good though. You that fucking played your dudes down there. What did you do after you left down there? After I remember what did you do? Go back to the States, and did you have
Well, actually, I came back home, man. Well, I came back home, man, and took me a few months off, and I put me a little band together, and we played for about, I don't know, must have been 3 years. We just traveled around and played. We did top 40 in country. I was a front man for it. We were called Wendell, Cooley, and the Nothing Special Band.
Really?
And yeah, oh yeah, it was that was really freaking neat, you know. And then I got a chance to take the job with the government in '96, and that's where I spent the rest of my career. I did not. When I left the business in '96, man, I left it lock, stock, and barrel cold turkey, because if I would have kept taking opportunities, I would have continued chasing, trying to make a living the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Territories were dead. I worked for Vince twice.
Yeah, territories were dried up by then. All you had was Vince.
Yeah, and I worked for him twice, man, and didn't have a good experience either time. The very first night I ever worked for him, Frankie and I went to Nashville to work the show for him. Kurt Hennig got us a shot.
Yeah.
We showed up. We were in the dressing room, and Monsoon was doing all of the big, you know, handling all the talent and the matches. And we worked with the sheep herders. Matter of fact, I watched that little match on the Facebook the other day, first time I'd seen it since we did it back then with Luke and Butch. But anyway, he came in the dressing room and introducing everybody, and I introduced myself. And I stuck my hand out and I said, Wendell Cooley. He said, not tonight, you're not. Okay.
Oh, wow.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? So I looked at Thumper and I said, really? He said, yeah. And he said, take those freaking tops off, you know, the same tops we wore in Puerto Rico, you know, with the Heartbreaker, DHB on it. And he said, take those things off. Okay. All right. Not a problem, bro. So we did. And he offered us another opportunity to go. I told Frankie, I said, I don't believe I want none of that, man. You know, just not my style. So I pretty much hung it up from
changed your gimmick the minute you got there.
Well, exactly. But I knew what I was going to do. You know, I'd paid my dues and done, you know what I mean? I was not going to start all over at the bottom and be a job guy and hope to work my way back up. You know what I mean? It wasn't worth it to me. You know what I mean? Too many bad injuries. I didn't want to freaking get mishandled by all those big monsters they were training at the time and get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Or some greenhorn guy that just had a look, and next thing you know, he's breaking your hip again.
Yeah, on a freaking roid rage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, shit on all that. Yeah, no, I didn't want none of that. So I just left the business altogether, lock, stock, and barrel. And just a couple years ago, Mike Jackson called me up and convinced me to make a show for him. I said, do you actually want me to get in the ring, or you just want me to be there? He said, well, I'd like to have you work if you could, Cat. I said, well, if I can find anything to bring with me that ain't dry rotted, you know what I mean? I said, I'll come make the show for you. So I went and worked that little show for him in North Alabama outside of Birmingham. And then we do our Continental Reunion show every year. We started it about 5 years ago, maybe. So I do that every year, and yeah.
Who all shows up? Who all shows up for that, Wendell? Yourself?
Oh man, all of the mainstay guys here: Robert and Ron, of course, and Jerry Stubbs and Bob Armstrong. Let's see, year before last, Lawler came in. Jake Roberts came in this past year. Jody Hamilton came in. Austin Idols made one of them. Jimmy Golden, Dutch Mantel came in for one. Pretty much all of the mainstay guys here. And we have it every year in May, the middle of May, the second Saturday of May every year.
Huh.
Awesome, brother. That's cool, man.
We had Eddie Mansfield on, about a year ago, Doug?
Yeah, about a year ago, yeah.
He did some time here, but I never met him. He did some time here. I guess he got out right about the time I was breaking in.
Yeah, he's down in California doing some kind of promotion, producing this organization down there and doing that. Yeah,
he's doing movies and TV shows.
Yeah, that's what he's doing, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But a lot of
I never did get to meet him, man. Yeah, I never got to meet him. He was, like I say, he was getting out about the time I was breaking in 82.
And he hasn't been to any of the reunions yet?
None, no. Nope. And I tell you something, just in the last year, man, I've been getting text messages and getting contacted by freaking groups all over the freaking country, man, offering me opportunities to come here and come there, go to New York, go to Charlotte for all of these conventions that they're having and whatever.
Yeah.
And,
Go sell your pictures and your gimmicks, brother. I mean, you make money, yeah. Because you're over, brother.
Yeah.
You're a good hand and good talent, you know what I'm saying? So run with it if you can.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I've agreed to do some of them, but my first question to him was, said, look, dude, I've been out of this business about the same length of time that I was in it. He said, dude, you would not believe how many old-time people are still out there that still would remember who you are. I said, okay, I don't have a problem doing it. I just want to make sure you're going to make enough money that I don't have no problem getting my money when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's some of the problems you run into with these people that want to book you. You give them your price and they agree to your price. Then you got to ask them, are you sure you're going to make that much? Because when I get there, I want my money before I do anything. I don't work first.
Why envelope
for
my
money?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, and I always ask that question. He said, look, dude, you don't worry about it. It'll be good as gold. So I touched base with Scott Casey for the first time since 1987. He and I hadn't spoke. I hadn't seen him. And he and I finally made contact after all these years. And I was telling him about it. He said, dude, that's what I've been doing the last few years. He said, man, you need to jump on some of that. It's good money.
Yeah,
so,
Scott's been doing that for a few years.
Yeah.
He's been to
you know he's got a book out, right? I'm going to give him a plug. You know he's got a book out, right?
Yeah, he did a new one, isn't it? Didn't he just do a new one?
Yeah, it's called The Last Ride with Scott Casey.
The Last Ride, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know where to get it. He said he was going to send me a copy because, he talks about me in there, and I told him I wanted to get a copy of it anyway. But I don't know, maybe you can go to his website or go to Google and Google it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's on Facebook too. I'm not, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we did a movie back in 85. I don't know if you guys remember that. We did it in Baltimore. It was called Blood Circus.
Oh, yeah?
Huh.
Yeah.
I know Scott's done a couple of small parts in some films.
Okay, well,
and I believe he's been on a couple of cameos on some TV shows, too, over the years.
Yeah, well,
It's called The Blood Circus. It's the Lost movie. I know which one you're talking about there.
Yeah, there's a couple clips of us in there, man, but the movie never got it never got released or whatever. I don't know. They were having issues with it, but yeah, Blanchard's whole crew went up there. Our whole crew went up there, and we did did our parts, got took care of, spent the week there at the, I don't know if it was the Hilton, the Sheraton right there at the Baltimore Civic Center the whole week. Got catered and treated like kings and did our little movie part, and all was promised a copy of it as soon as it got edited and done, and that was 1985. Never got released.
Yeah,
kind of like nothing. Our first album.
As far as Blood Circus goes, go ahead. As far as Blood Circus goes, I know the only thing that's was ever really released was the clip of the one guy who called himself Santo Gold performing, and you can the only wrestler.
Yeah, if you keep going through there, yeah. In WCW. us. It's been so long ago that I kind of look back and think, did I ever really do all of this? You know, we're talking.
No,
I'm 30 years. 30 years back. Well, actually longer than that, 37 years ago. When you think about that, that is almost a freaking lifetime for a lot of people. When I started in this thing, man, and I can remember just how hungry and eager I was. I didn't care where you wanted me to go. Just tell me I'm booked and I'm coming. You know what I mean? I drove from here to Oklahoma City to make a damn shot one night for a fellow running a show. This is before I got established and got a territory. I was just learning. I got a phone call. This guy was running a show in Oklahoma City. My brother and I both. He was going to use us both. There was no guarantee, okay? But we packed up here, drove 16 friggin' hours to work that damn one little show right there, and I think we made $40 a piece. But back then, gas was only 25 cents a gallon. So we did make gas money there and back and was able to eat a freaking hamburger or something. But, hey, we were tickled to do it. You know what I mean? Tickled to freaking death to do it. But I think I learned a lot. I think I had to become a man real early, out on my own, when I first left home and trying to raise a family and work this business for a living. And you know how some of them old timers were, man. They were just hardcore brash, learned a lot.
Learned a lot, still miss it, brother. You know what? I mean, it's just, if you love the business, it loves you back. I mean,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing I would not trade right now to be able to get back in that square circle. I mean, I run my surgeries and all stuff, but I'm still in the business because I got this podcast. So, I mean, God, when I got out of the business, God actually answered my prayers. I bummed out, man. I couldn't get back and do that. And I had this podcast come on. So I'm still talking to
There you go.
I talk more of the boys, man. Every week, I got the boys strung out, and then I was working in one territory, for 6, 8, 12 weeks, So, it's awesome, man. So, everything, but.
It was.
Did you ever, I mean, you said you worked with, up and down the road with Flair. Did you ever, run around did you ever go around, with Piper or anything, any of your contacts?
I never met Piper. I say I never met him. I finally met him shortly before he died at a Comic-Con in Knoxville. Okay, but when I was in the business, I didn't meet a lot of the guys from up in the Northeast unless they came through Atlanta. When I was there that brief time, because a lot of those guys went straight to work for Vince. But never met Hogan.
What was it like running around with a young Flair?
Oh, man. It was, it was like riding around with the president, who didn't know it. You know what I mean?
Ricky Morton told me one time, he said, when you work with Flair, Nate, he'd come back after working and shake your hand and hand you $100 bill just for working there. I mean,
hell yeah. And then you were going to go drinking with him. Then you were going to go drinking with him.
Oh, yeah, he bought everything. Everything that, he lived his gimmick. He's still living it now, I think it's keeping him up because he can't get in the rain to a bump or whatever, but, he's still there, man. He's still out there doing
it. I remember the last time that I worked with him, and he and I, it was in Little Rock. And after the show, he said, we're going to the frickin' bar. Okay? I said, okay. I said, I'll see you down there. So we show up at the bar, and, of course, here he comes in, and everybody in the frickin' place knew who he was. We get to a table. Grab us a table, man, and the waitress comes over. He said, I want 50 kamikazes.
No, it was his drink, brother.
She said, "Excuse me, did I hear you right?" He said, 50. 1, 2, 3 at a time. He said, "I want all 50 of them right here." So 50 kamikazes on that table. I wasn't much of a liquor drinker, But I said, "Nah, man, I'm going to drink a beer, Flair." And he looked at me and he gave me that look. I said, "Okay, I'll have one. I'll have one." So I had to have one with him, but before the evening was over, everybody in the bar was over at the table and, drinking shots of kamikazes and the whole deal. Yeah. But I got to tell you, man, I worked with him numerous occasions. Great to work with, loved to bump, fast-paced action, just freaking great, you know what I mean? And he loved to work the way he worked the way that I love to work somebody. I like to work a little
old school,
snug, you know what I mean? Old school, good and snug, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But probably one of the smoothest guys I ever worked with. Now, I worked with four of the former world champions. Of course, Flair was the current world champion the times that I worked with him. I worked with Harley Race in St. Louis, in his hometown. What a gentleman there, brother. He didn't know me from Adam, okay? I was working for Turner, and got in the dressing room, and he pulled me off to the side, and he said, "Is there anything special you'd like to do?" I said, "No." Wow. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm here, man, to work with you. I said, "This is your hometown." He said, "No, we don't think about that, brother. If there's anything you think of you want to do, let me know before we get out there."
That's a privilege to you, brother. He put you over right there for you. He put you over right there. He knew you was good talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then I got to work with Bockwinkel.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Then I worked with Bockwinkel in Knoxville, which was our biggest market. You know what I mean? I was the Continental champion, and he was the AWA champion. So first night I ever met him was the night that I worked with him. So I go to him being the older veteran. I walk in, introduce myself, and I said, "Is there anything special that you want to do?" He said, "Nah, kid." He said, "We'll just kind of play it by ear out there." I said, "Okay, not a problem." I said, "Anything you want to do, let me know. Just give me a heads up." 45 minutes. 45 minutes. We stayed on the mat, and I worked an armbar. One of the best matches I ever had in my whole entire life, brother. Had the people on the edge of their seats the whole entire freaking time, and then he put me over 1, 2, freaking 3.
Well, I was just doing just doing not these high flying, knee kicking.
No, sir. Absolutely freaking not.
No.
I don't even know that.
It gets chills at my fucking spine right now. Think about that, brother.
Don't forget the
working a whole
flap.
means something. Them leg flaps nowadays, man. I got a good friend of mine, Logan Price, son of Rod Price. And he'll go in there and he'll put them greenhorns, he'll put them greenhorns down on Facebook and all that stuff, and I get a laugh about it. He's going to be on the show that 22nd of this month.
Yeah. Then I got to work with Lawler numerous times.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he is an ass to a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that of him, but that's probably one of the smartest minds in this business.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the best workers I have ever had the privilege of working with. You know what I mean? That guy had a mind for the frickin' business. Super to work with. If he ever sputted you, he said, "Go ahead, pay me back now." You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
straight up.
Yeah, I got this.
Straight friggin' up. If he ever frickin' tatered you, he said, "Go ahead and give it back now." You know what I mean?
I'm not from Idaho here, I know, brother.
Yeah.
I worked with Lawler while I was down there. I mean, he's the king. Elvis said the king of Memphis, Lawler is. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow he's going to be on ESPN.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, tomorrow, man. He put that down on Twitter. So he's been, yeah. And, you know, the boys are players. Nate's been on there. The Undertaker's been on there. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know,
he was a super talent, man. Super freaking talent.
Yeah. You know, I'm sad about what happened to his son, Brian Christopher. I worked with Brian Christopher.
Oh, I know it.
And his partner, the new kids, me and Bart Sawyer did. When we went to work for the Jarretts, man, and our, you know, they didn't know nothing, man. We got there, put them over and stuff. And, I mean, because, you know, we had the ball in front with it, you know, that's just how it is. Yep. And that's great, man. Nowadays, I mean, the indie circuits are kicking ass. I mean, the social media is so out there right now that you can get booked anywhere if you got talent. I see them on it all the time. They got talent. They'll tell them what their booking fee is, or they'll say how many dates they're available for that month. And they send that tape, and they talk about social media. And I tell everybody I know, run with social media, man. Run, it's free. Pay your phone bill.
Hell yeah.
You know, and that's all you got to do, man. It's simple. It's
That's
easy.
right.
Yeah, it's simple and it's easy, man. If you can run with it and you got stuff behind you that they want to look at and stuff, they'll look at it. Yeah.
That's right.
That's great, man. It's great, brother. Anybody want to say, hey, brother, before we get off here, anybody want to say hello out there, brother Wendell, or?
Yeah, if there's any of the guys out there that are listening to your show, man, hello. And, golly, may God bless you.
Thank you, brother. All right, brother. Well, hey, man, thank you for being a part of my show, man. Tell Frank I said hi. You got my number. Give him my number. And, hey, man, still keep in touch with me, man. And
will do, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Your honor.
Pleasure having you on, Wendell. Loved hearing your stories, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, man. God bless you guys.
God bless
you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, man. Bye.
Goodbye.
There you Wildcat, Wendell Cooley, bro. Hey, man, he's been up and down the roads, and don't you love little road stories like that? Sensational Sean?
Those are the best. Like I was saying, those are some of the best shows we got when you get cats like that. You know, because you get, you know, like right there at the end there, we got a nice little road story of Flair, you know, at the bar, you know, 50 kamikazes after the show. And by the end of the night, he's buying for the entire bar in the house. And, you know, that's the kind of guy he was, the kind of guy he still is. You know,
still is, brother.
People give him a lot of shit and whatnot, but the man knows how to have a good time. And like Wendell said, he was one of the best workers there ever was in this business.
Well, still is. I mean, like I said, man, you don't have
still styling and profiling from the tarmac in Tampa this afternoon, as a matter of fact.
I've seen that, brother. Yeah, I've seen that, man.
The wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, limousine riding, jet flying some bitch.
Well, you know what?
Tarmac in Tampa.
You can't do it as good as Nate can, but I will give you credit for it. I would before I get off my podcast, I'm going to say happy birthday to a great friend, a great lady, a great mom, a great grandma. You want to be called Grandma? Naomi Meek. That's come up here from Dallas, Texas tonight. When we get done, we're going to hit the Hard Rock, the River Spirit Casino, and ventures all over Oklahoma. I like to say hi to you. Happy birthday to you. And I'll see you here in a little while.
Yeah, and make sure you keep Doug up of Live PD, because I watch every weekend.
Well, you know what? Hey, I might get over on that. You know what I'm saying? No, it's going to happen, though. It's going to happen. All right, brother, man. We got Rip Rogers coming on next week. He's got a bunch of stories, man.
Oh, good God, dude. Better
Rip
plan
Rogers
for 2 hours show. Telling you,
No,
better plan for 2 hours minimum.
Yeah, I've had him on the show before, back about a year ago, and I mean, he's forgotten more stories than he can tell, and he'll tell it to you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, anyway,
I want to get him talking about Portland.
Oh, he'll talk about it.
I know.
Forget about it. He's got a heck of a book coming out right there on the Amazon. You can purchase for $20. But anyway, hey, till next week, 6 p.m. Central Time, Rip Rogers will be on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in to another exciting hour and a half where we can go. A Pretty Boy Doug Masters, Kayfabe Korner, with my great co-host, Sensational Son Bryant. You know why? I guess the dwarfs brought you out of the woods, didn't they? Last week you petered out on me. Ow! There you go. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Friday night, 6 p.m. Central Time. Remember one thing, be good. If not, be good at it. See ya!